Mannerism is a term applied to that period of European art between about 1520 and 1580. It's the link between the Renaissance and the Baroque. Leonardo da Vinci died in 1519, and Raphael, one of the greatest of Renaissance artists, died in 1520. For a long time, it was considered that their deaths marked the end of the Renaissance, and that anything in the years immediately following, with very few exceptions, in the opinion of some art historians, no exceptions at all, was inferior and decadent to the art of the 15th century. If this is true at all, it's true only to a small degree. Mannerist painters felt that the Renaissance artist had explored and exhausted the Renaissance style, and they, in their turn, were looking on to explore new possibilities. While they borrowed poses and attitudes of the human form developed by their predecessors, the Mannerists did not hesitate to twist and exaggerate the human form. They also employed a more garish palette. Mannerism, in our opinion, is a development growing out of the Renaissance style rather than a repudiation of it. One thing we should bear in mind is this: no period in art ends abruptly, simply breaks off. And no new period with its style begins immediately with its fully developed characteristics. Styles in painting change, just as styles in fashion and dress change. Not so frequently, not so suddenly either. There are also counter-styles to the popular trends. In every period of art, there are some painters, sculptors, or architects who've not conformed to the fashions that are dominating their field. The term Mannerism has a second meaning. It has to do with the style and manner of an artist, regardless of his time, his century. Certain peculiarities associated with his pictures or his sculpture, habits he falls into which make it easy to identify the artist, artificialities which become habitual with him. There were in Flanders, now a part of Belgium, for example, artists at work in the early 1500s who were just about as mannered in their style as those who fall into the period 1520 to 1580. Mannerism, therefore, refers both to a period and to a style. If this introduction sounds confusing, I apologize. I'm trying to be very simple and down to earth. Many art historians contrive to write in a fashion to confuse rather than to enlighten. They make things complex instead of simple. But perhaps that's because their subject is not something absolute and concrete like math or engineering. If you're confused, don't worry. So are some of the authors of the books on art. Relax. Don't go to sleep. Keep your mind on the subject. You'll be surprised how much you have learned when we're finished.